I now need to check every time if this is being picked up. If the audio is being picked up, god damn it. Let me take a look. Okay, yes. It is being picked up. Okay, yes. It is being picked up. There is indeed sound. Yes. It is being picked up. There is indeed sound. Yes. It is being picked up. Okay. Good. Now that I know that sound is being picked up. Oh. It's warm today. It's hot today. So, welcome everyone. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this tonight, because tonight is November 5th. Tonight is election night. I kind of wanted to... Well, I was planning not to do this, because I was going to, watch the news about the election, but I figured it's like, well, I don't need to give the news my 100% attention. The results are what they're going to be. Me watching the news won't change whatever results are going to come in. And ultimately, I just need to look at the numbers. I don't need to hear what the news is saying. So that's why ultimately, after jumping back and forth if I wanted to do this or not, I decided I'm going to do this. So because I jumped back and forth on whether or not I wanted to do this tonight, that's why I'm starting late tonight. I started at 10 p.m. rather than the usual 9:30 that I do this at. So while I do this, I have ABC News live opened up in front of me, and I'm just gonna, watch it without sound. It's moments like this that I can see why AirPods or just any sort of wireless like headphones would be useful. But I don't trust myself with it, so I don't have it. It is what it is. I also wanted to do this tonight because, one, I don't have anything else to do besides just watch the news on the election. And two, I want this goddamn shiny. I'm sick of this monkey. I want to hunt for the blue one, not the red one, even though red's my favorite color. So I admit, last time was a bit of a mess. Very sloppy. But we're past that, so let's just move on. Thankfully, I didn't get a shiny last time because of how much of a mess it was last time. Well, at the moment, it seems like Trump is in the lead, but, that could change with Pennsylvania. I'm not entirely too sure why Pennsylvania is, like, the deciding state. Also, keep in mind that I'm in Canada. I'm not in America, so the election doesn't really affect me. So yeah, I'm watching this just based off of curiosity. I want to see who the next U.S. president is. It's kind of funny. My dad is hoping Harris wins. My mom is hoping Trump wins. Two of my friends hopes for Harris. One of my friend doesn't care for either candidate as a person. I am agreeing with my mom that, we are both hoping Trump wins, while my dad hopes Harris wins. We're all Canadian, so it doesn't matter anyways. Alright, so today I have 4 things to talk about. More like 3, because one of them isn't really an episode to talk about. I have Superman and Lois, The Penguin, from to talk about, as well as something that won't take that long. I watched the episode Insider for Daryl Dixon Season 2. Just want to talk about a couple things that was shown in that. Thankfully, I waited a couple days before watching it, because they posted the whole thing on YouTube. They posted the entire episode Insider onto YouTube. Yo, W, Walking Dead channel. We also have a little teaser trailer for Season 3, which, you know, that was fast. I realized Daryl Dixon was filmed a long time ago. They filmed Seasons 1 and 2 back to back. And then, you know, because they filmed Season 2 so long ago, they already got a head start on filming Season 3. So, the episode Insider, I was actually thinking it would only be for the season finale, not the entire season. So that was a nice surprise. You know, I love seeing these, like, behind-the-scenes documentaries and, you know, showing the processes of making these shows. So, I mean, there's not really too much to mention about the episode Insider. We actually learned that, you know, behind the scenes, when Daryl, Laurent, and Isabel were playing baseball, Laurent actually, or rather the actor Louis, he actually hit the ball, like, so far they lost the ball. They never found that ball. It's kind of funny to think. When we're watching the episode, it's like, yeah, that ball, that's gone forever. They just don't know where it went. So it turns out that the Greenland scenes, those were indeed shot in France. I knew it. They shot it in the French Alps and, you know, just basically labeled it Greenland. I knew it. Like, I don't think it was that big of a surprise, you know. No way they were going to fly all the way to Greenland just to film parts of one episode and then fly all the way back to France. So obviously they were going to film in France while they were in France and just label it as Greenland. You know, I still find it pretty funny that they're filming in one part of the world and then they're just labeling it a different part of the world. You know? Like, real life, a place like this just doesn't exist. At least not where they're labeling it. The place that they label Greenland, that doesn't actually exist in real life Greenland, but it does exist in real life France. So I find that kind of funny. You know, TV and movies do it all the time. They film in one location and then they just label it a different location. So it was also pretty interesting to find out that in order to film at the Louvre, they had like discussions about filming there like a year prior. It's like, I didn't realize it took that much work in order to, you know, set aside a day just to have the crew film there. Well, maybe it was more than a day, you know. These filmings take usually a couple days to like weeks. And then it's pretty interesting to learn they had like 900 extras or something, like several hundreds of extras. It was neat to see, you know, the behind the scenes for Sylvie, like her makeup to become a walker. There was even the added detail in the makeup that I didn't realize, like, you know, her neck was broken, there was a bone sticking out, not sticking out, but like bulging out of her neck. I didn't notice that. It's pretty cool. I did hear that they had like a dummy Condron made to be tied behind the ATV as bait for the amped walkers, which, you know, that's the official term for them. They're not super walkers, they're amped walkers, or the ampers. Part of me wonders, like, why they even needed a dummy for that. Maybe it was for the scene where Carol was cutting him loose. Or maybe, it was just, maybe it was actually just too dangerous to have him strapped to the back of an ATV and drive around. So while the camera was on Melissa McBride driving the vehicle, they had a dummy strapped to the back. So I probably should have thought about this, but I turned my brain off while watching the show. I should have realized, obviously, some of the shots for the plane were green screen. Like, when the shots we see of Ash's face with Laurent, like, they're not obviously going to attach a camera to an actual flying plane. So, those scenes are green screen, and they were filmed separately from the actual, like, gunfire moment. I probably should have realized that, but, I just wasn't thinking. Man, I hope we see Ash and Laurent again. They were fantastic characters. It also turns out that the racetrack that they used as the plane, like the plane takeoff area and landing area, that's an actual, like, abandoned racetrack in France. So that wasn't just, like, set design. They made it look all dirty and worn down. That was an actual, like, abandoned racetrack. And then the tunnel with the bioluminescent walkers, they call it the chunnel. It's like a connecting tunnel between France and England. And I also didn't know that guano or bat shit can make people hallucinate. I didn't know that. Just like just like none of us knew Walker brain stems make people hallucinate. And, I only found out recently, too. They were planning to kill off Carol in Season 4. I did not know that. So, yeah, they actually had an entire, an entire face mold of Melissa McBride made for Season 4. And, they were ready to kill her off, but clearly that didn't happen. And you know what? We're all thankful it didn't happen. Now, if only they made the right decisions with, say, Carl. And then, by the end of the episode Insider, we got a bunch of actors. Like, will we see our characters again? Don't know. Like, will we see Falou again? Will we see Laurent again? Will we see Ash again? God, I hope so. Will we see Condron again? Out of all the characters, we're more than likely going to see Condron return soon. Maybe sometime in the next, season or two of Darrow Dixon. Falou, I think his story probably has ended. I don't think we're going to see Falou again. I think he's just going to get his happy ending and ride off in the sunset. Ash and Laurent, though, God, I hope they come back. Like, imagine if we see at the end of... This is all hypothetical. Imagine at the end of The Ones Who Live Season 2, we see Rick and Michonne meet Ash and Laurent, and then, they're told, like, we need your help. Darrow is stuck in France. Darrow and Carol, they're stuck in France. Like, imagine that. A hypothetical Season 2. Now, I said before that the way I imagine a Season 2 of The Ones Who Live will happen is Season 2 of The Ones Who Live is the reunion season. So, say Darrow Dixon ends after 5 or 6 seasons, same thing with Dead City. Both those shows are done. And then all the characters reunite on a Season 2 of The Ones Who Live. So, yes, that would mean you watch Season 1, then you watch all, let's say, 12 seasons of another show, of 2 other shows, and then you watch Season 2. Yes, that is what it means, but it's So what, right? So what? Look at the way the Marvel Netflix timeline played out. You go Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Daredevil Season 2, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, Punisher. Like, you're telling me, really? Like, the fact you need to watch all those shows between seasons 2 and 3 of Daredevil, right? It's like, so what? So, by the end of the episode Insider, at the very end, the final clip they attached is Norman Reedus at Comic-Con saying, "We're going to Spain for Season 3. So, that was the episode Insider. Of course, I'm excited for Season 3. Hopefully, you know, they have enough time to hear all the feedback and criticism on how rushed the pacing was for Season 2, and hopefully they improve on it. Then again, I don't know. Like I said, they already had a decent head start on filming Season 3, so maybe they might not have enough time to go back and rework it. Okay, let's... Alright, so let's talk about Superman and Lois first, because I watched that first today. Today, I actually watched all Superman and Lois, Penguin, and From, and also the episode Insider. I watched all of it today. I also went into the backyard and picked up all my dog's poop, because someone's got to do it. I was alone at home today, and today was warm. It wasn't too cold, you know, so I can actually go out and do it. We did it, folks! We did it! There it is! The second shiny! We did it! That is shiny, right? Yes! That is shiny! We did it! We got the second Pansear, which means this one, we got Simisear. I'm celebrating getting shiny Simisear. See, it's a good thing I decided to choose to do this tonight. Alright. We got the second shiny. You know what that means. I need to hatch the remaining eggs, and then I need to collect Pansear eggs. Finally! Finally, we could hunt something that has a good shiny. We haven't had a good shiny since... Patrat? I don't know, Watchhog? While it's a noticeable shiny, like it's one that changes a decent amount, is it really that good looking? I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I like it. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. I don't know, I think Patrat shiny is good. The red to blue. Hopefully this next presidency doesn't go from red to blue. Well, actually it would just go from, you know, go from blue to blue. Okay, let's see how many eggs this took. Alright, let's do some math real quick. So 810 before plus, let's see, 4, let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15, 14, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Yeah, 12, 13, 14. So, well, actually, first I need to do 14 times 30. 420, nice. So 420 plus 810, 1230. 1230 plus, this is it, yep. Plus, let's see, 6, 12, 18, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I am using a calculator for this. 1230 plus 28. Second shiny Patrat came at 1,258 eggs. Here's the summary of it. Brave nature. This will go with the other shiny Pansear. Now we have them both. Great. We're moving up in the world. Well, now that I got the second one, I think I'm just going to... Well, I'm not going to end it right away. I still got stuff to talk about. I think I'm just going to go for the 6 boxes of eggs today instead of the 7. And besides, I started late tonight anyway, so it only makes sense for me to do less eggs today. So anyways, where was I? What was I talking about? So yeah, let's talk about Superman and Lois next, because I watched all 4 of this stuff today. So today I watched episode 6, right? Or is it episode 5? I think it was episode 6. Did only 1 egg hatch just now? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was episode 6. Yeah, episode 6. I missed it yesterday night, and I figured today was my day off, so I would just watch it today. Alone at home, peace and quiet. Alright, so there was no Superman in this episode. No Clark dressing up as Superman, doing Superman stuff. There was just no Superman this episode. It was all Clark. So this episode opens up with, an angry Lex Luthor having a rage fit on, Elizabeth rejecting him. So, this episode, Lex plans to move his business of operation to Smallville. Or rather, his headquarters. And everyone's trying to stop him from doing that. So he offers to buy this lady's land, and then Lana and Clark convince her not to, even if it is multiple generations worth of life-changing money. We also learn in this episode that Jonathan has been, just non-stop going out and doing a whole bunch of stuff as Superboy. Why is it so hard for this to look straight? Does it look straight? It looks a little slanted. So, it also seems like Clark's secret is getting out. It seems like everyone knows he's Superman at this point. Because that lady who Lex was trying to buy the land of, it seems like she knew as well. What else happened? So, Lex's, like, right hand, Amanda, she gets, like, you know, she was given an ultimatum in this episode, like, who's she gonna pick? Is she going to pick Lex? You know, she was loyal to Lex this whole time? Or is she going to, like, leave him? Because we know how dangerous it is for you to change your mind about Lex Luthor, especially if you already are a follower of his. So Lana, you know, Lana being the mayor of Smallville, she's trying her best to prevent Lex from buying the land and moving his business of operation, his headquarters, to Smallville. And, well, she does succeed, but Lex clearly isn't going to take that standing down. What did I just say? Lex isn't gonna treat that lightly. You know, we also see that, you know, almost like a domino effect, Jordan needs to get a job, he asks at the diner. Sarah says, like, you know what I would do to have your powers, to have the freedom to go anywhere? Jordan's like, you don't need powers to do that. Maybe that's why it's slanted, because it's on something. It's on the wire. So we learn that Sarah actually wants to study abroad. And, of course, something happens that makes not only the characters, but also us, the audience, questions like, is that the best thing? Because Lana went hard against Lex Luthor, well, Lex Luthor had his friend Otis try to kill Lana. First of all, trying to, you know, snuff her out with a gas leak, kinda. Took down the security system that John Henry Irons implemented. Otis snuck in, like, turned on the gas. Like, thank God she woke up because she smelled gas. But then she was attacked by Otis. Nearly killed. Thankfully, you know, Sarah mentioned that her dad made all of them keep bats underneath their beds for protection. It's a good move. Smart. So now it's like, ooh, her mom was just attacked. Is it really a good idea for Sarah to leave and study abroad? Of course, Clark is furious that, you know, his friend was nearly killed. So he angrily goes over to Lex Luthor and yells at him. And because Clark is already, you know, like, powered down, Lex Luthor actually rigged all the street lights to be a red sun kind of emitting light. I don't know how exactly you can do that. It's not exactly the same as just shining a red light at Superman, but it's like, I don't know where you find light bulbs that emit the same kind of energy as a red sun, but okay. So then we get this awesome back and forth, like, just fist fight. Because Clark is powerless underneath a red sun, so he's just... He has the strength of a normal human. So we see a fist fight between Clark and Lex Luthor. Clark nearly kills him, but, you know, he's reminded by his family, just standing there watching, not to. Well, by the end of the episode, Lex Luthor goes back to Metropolis. Of course, temporarily. Amanda chooses Lex, and then she's just like, first, we need to get you a killer suit. So that tells me Lex is already going to get his Lexo suit rather soon. And I hope he shaves that goddamn beard. We saw in the trailer Lex in his Lexo suit without that beard. So I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see Lex without that stinking beard. Man, I can't stand the fact that they're giving Lex Luthor beards recently. John Cryer, Titus Welliver... And now, Michael Cutlets. Man, it's a bit of a shame we never got to see... We never really got to see Tyler Hoechlin's Superman go off against John Cryer's Lex Luthor. It's a bit of a shame we never got to see that. We only saw them in like a handful of scenes together, and that was Crisis on Infinite Earths. So yeah, we should be getting Lex in his Lexo suit rather soon. I'm wondering if it's John Henry Irons' steel suit, because based on the trailer, that's what it looks like. Like, is it John Henry Irons' technology for that suit? Because, well, actually, no, never mind. We know that John Henry Irons took that suit from his world's Lex Luthor, or something like that. John Henry Irons' steel suit is Lex Luthor technology. LexCorp technology. But I think they work together. I can't remember. Give me a second. I'm just going to go turn off some lights real quick. Okay, 1 second. Alright. Well, that's pretty much all that happened in Superman and Lois. What else can I play? Oh, you know what? I haven't played this song. Like, I don't think at all. Whoops. Excuse me, I was just texting a couple people I got the second shiny Pansear. Okay. Alright, so up next, let's talk about the Penguin episode, I lost count. There's a lot of shows I'm watching, okay? It's hard to keep count which episode it is. All I know is, there's a new episode, I watch it. Episodes, let's see. This one was episode 7. This episode was titled Top Hat. I kind of question why it was titled Top Hat. Because, you know, that got me excited. Like, ooh, are we going to see maybe even a moment, a frame of, you know, comic accurate looking penguin with a top hat? Maybe the cane or umbrella? No, it's an umbrella, not a cane. Top hat, umbrella, and maybe a monocle. Yeah, no. I hope we see that at the end, kind of like, the Marvel Disney Plus shows. Typically, by the very last episode, we see the characters in a comic-accurate costume. So maybe the final episode of Penguin, we see, like, he won against all the Falcons and Maronis. He's claiming his throne, that he now has a thriving drug business. And, he dresses up all nice. He dresses up in a fancy suit, puts on a nice top hat, a monocle for some reason. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen based on the things that happened in this episode, episode 7. So this episode, we actually start off with a flashback to a young Oswald Cobb with his, younger mother and his 2 other brothers, Jack and Benny. We learn the origins, or rather, like, what happened to them, why or how they died. They were out, first of all, they were making a delivery for their mother. They also went out to play. They went into that, like, abandoned subway station that, we now know is the base of operation for the new drug Bliss. So they were playing flashlight tag there. Oz gets pissed, locks his brothers into like a vault, and then he leaves. He leaves them there. Oz, being a kid, doesn't realize, like, it's raining, that place is going to flood, and they're going to drown and die. So Oz goes back to his place, watches a movie with his mom. Not all the eggs were hatched there. They said they were going to watch Beetlejuice, but instead they watched a black and white tap dancing film. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't remember Beetlejuice starting off that way. Then again, it's been like maybe 20 years since I've seen the first Beetlejuice film. It was on in the background while I was a kid. I just never really went back and rewatched it. Now that I'm grown up, I can understand what's happening. My sister's absolutely terrified of Beetlejuice. She hates Beetlejuice even as an adult now. A nearly 30-year-old adult. She cannot go back and rewatch Beetlejuice. Which, I don't blame her. I probably can never go back and watch Boogeyman. But yeah, obviously that means I haven't seen the second Beetlejuice film. Which I plan to. I definitely plan to, one day rewatch the first one and then watch the second one. One day. Hold on, I need to reply to a text real quick. So yeah, we learn how Oz's brothers died, and then we cut back to present day. We see Oz show up at that dirty-ass apartment, and he sees the aftermath of, Sophia's attack. Vic is unconscious. Francis is gone. And, well, that's actually all we see of Vic in this episode. Oswald sends him to get him an army to fight the Gigante Maroni, group. Vic leaves to gather an army, and, that's all we see of him in this episode. Ugh. So I don't know if in the next episode we're going to see Vic show up with, an Avengers Endgame level of army to back up the Penguin. So we'll see. So we see Sal show up and beat the shit out of Oz, wanting to find out the location of his, base of operation. We also see Sophia having Francis, Oz's mother. So I forgot last time what it is or what it was. The other thing that Frances had, it was both Parkinson's and Alzheimer's on top of dementia. So I forgot she had both. I mentioned she had one and dementia. I forgot the other one. So she has both Parkinson's and Alzheimer's on top of dementia. And she also lost 2 of her sons. Oh, this poor woman. So I was really scared this whole episode. I was tense this whole episode, wondering like, oh my god, is Sophia gonna kill Frances or not? Because, you know, I'm thinking Sophia probably isn't like that, but then again, Oz did kill Alberto. And then we find out later in the episode he also killed Sal. Because he did. He killed Sal. For some reason, you know, once they were at the sewers, the underground station, where Bliss is being made, Sal and Oz got into a fist fight, but then he kind of just like, Sal kind of just like fell down. Did he have a stroke at that moment? I don't really know what happened to him. I'm like, was he poisoned? No, I saw nothing this episode that could have, you know, implied he was poisoned. So either he had a heart attack or he had a stroke. He collapsed. I like the detail that Oz now took back the ring. Damn, that ring really jumped around. It used to belong to the Maronis, and then the Falcones got it, then it went back to the... No. It was the Maronis, then the Falcones had it, and then Oz had it to give it back to the Maronis, and now Oz has it. I like the fact that Oz actually, like, finished him off. So he took Sal's gun and just shot... He just emptied out the entire mag into his gut. I was wondering why he didn't just go for a headshot, but you do you. He then calls Sophia as like, I killed Sal. Well, actually, before that, it turns out the kid Gia, you know, the kid that Sophia saved when she gassed the rest of the Falcone family. Yeah, she saw something. So Julian Rush is like, we have a problem. That Gia kid, who is now in a terrible and dirty looking, like, you know, kid's home, she wants to talk to the police because she says she saw something. What she saw was a mask in Sophia's bag. So she's like, did Sophia gas the family? Did they do that? Or did she do that? Did she do that to my mom and dad? Sophia goes and talks to her and assures her like, no, I didn't. But everyone there was a terrible person. So it's better for you that they're all gone. You know, Sophia starts breaking down because she sees a bit of herself in, you know, Gia. And then she gets a call from quote-unquote Sal, who's really Oz, because who's really Oz, because Oz killed Sal. He proposes a trade. He wants to make a deal. Oz's mother for the keys to the kingdom, the entire drug operation, everything. Sophia can have it all, as long as Oz has his mother back. So this moment was kind of tense, I'm not gonna lie. So the car shows up. We were thinking Sophia's there, but no, it was a cutaway. Sophia calls from somewhere else. I was really afraid that Frances was going to be dead in the trunk of the car. Kind of like how at the end of the first episode, you know, Alberta was dead in the trunk of the car. Or was that the second episode? I think that was the first. So, you know, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, oh no, is Frances going to be dead in the trunk? And then I was also thinking like, Sophia was saying his mother inspired her to wear a different face. So I was really afraid like, oh my god, did she skin that lady's face off and is wearing her skin face? Her face's skin, I mean? No, thankfully not. Frances is alive. what was early in that car was a bomb. So Oz, he just runs for it instead of... He didn't even bother shouting to everyone, warning, like, there's a bomb, run! He didn't even bother doing that, he just ran for his own life. So the entire Bliss operation is gone. It completely, was vaporized in that bomb explosion. As well as an entire, street of Crown Point. So Oz miraculously survives because he ran down. It looks like he ran down the exact same place that his brothers died. So that was far enough away from the blast to actually save his life. Everyone else is dead. Everyone part of the operation is dead. If they didn't die from the explosion, they died in the rubble. Well, Sophia took Francis to that nightclub that we see a flashback to, where Oz promised his mom a better life. We see Oz come up to the surface, seeing, the aftermath of the explosion. And then he gets knocked out by one of Sophia's goons, and that's where the episode ends. Once again, good show. Great show. It was a good episode. Pansear isn't the only shiny I got today. Today I also attempted to hunt for a Dondozo. I got a Dondozo Outbreak. I wanted to hunt for it. Well, not really. I don't want to hunt in that lake. But I did, because I wanted a shiny Dondozo. So I purposely reset for a Dondozo Outbreak, and then I hunted for it. And my god, it sucked to hunt there. For the first time, I actually wanted to try to get a Jumbo Mark shiny, just because it turns out Dondozo is the third largest Pokemon. Ahem. Base form. So, not counting stuff like alternate forms, like Mega Rayquaza or Alolan Executor. Base form. So, the base form of Eternatus is number 1, Wailord's number 2, and Dondozo's number 3. Dondozo is the third largest Pokemon with an asterisk base form. So, I wanted to try to get a Jumbo Mark. I only got one that was, bigger than average. I didn't get the Jumbo Mark shiny. And my god, shiny hunting Dondozo actually sucks. So I'm not going to go out of my way to try for it again until I get a Jumbo Mark shiny. Maybe one day I'll revisit it, but for now it's like, well, I have a shiny, I'm moving on. I'm just gonna wait a bit before I talk about From, because that one friend of mine, yeah, he said he might join later on, so I'll wait for him before I talk about it. I texted him earlier today, like, alright, this episode wasn't bad, but the show was still, slow as hell. And he's just like, don't worry, bro, it gets good. It gets good around episode 7. He's really hyping up episode 7. So if episode 7 sucks, I will be madly disappointed. I even texted him too, like, that feeling you will get when the show starts picking up the pace and I'm actually enjoying it? That feeling of joy that you will get? Well, I will not be getting that feeling because yo ass quit all the shows I suggested to you. And he's just like, LMAO. I'm just like, nah, no LMAO. Not even any consideration of potentially continuing the shows that I suggested. And I also texted him like, I swear to God, man, you complained about the first moments of The Walking Dead being boring. When yo ass recommended me this boring ass show, where it's just all talking. I swear to God. Not all the eggs were hatched there. Like, I am so pissed off at him. You know, in a friendly way. I am friendly mad at him. I'm just like, I'm laughing the pain away. It's like, bro, I swear to God, bro, you recommended this show to me when you didn't even finish the shows I watched, or I recommended to you. It's like, oh my God, man, I swear I'm just going to, you know. Well, what else can I play? What other music can I play? Well, this was recommended, so here it is. Whoops, sorry. I figured you didn't. I didn't realize you couldn't really hear the music just now. My bad. I think that's now like 2.5 boxes. I already lost count. Let's see. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's 2.5. 1, 2.5. Not exactly halfway yet. Aren't you guys glad I got the shiny today and not last time? How sloppy everything was last time? You know, a part of me was actually worried because I collected all the eggs and pre-walked all of them. I was a little worried that now I don't have anything to do during the day. This was keeping me busy during the daytime, collecting eggs and then pre-walking them. Well, now that I got the second shiny, I will have to now, you know, on my own time, hatch the remaining eggs and collect more eggs. So, you know, now that gives me more stuff to do during the day. Hooray. Hooray. I'm not gonna, you know, continue to be bored during the day. Whoops. I only put in 4 eggs there. And I think I put them in the wrong order, too. There we go. Subscribed with Prime. They've subscribed for 17 months, currently on a 1-month streak. By the way, my dogs are about to bark. Hold on. Whoops. What's that? You haven't pooped yet. Just had to go and close the door. You know, it's hot in this room, so I left the door slightly opened. Alright, so let's see how the election stuff is happening. It's actually rather close, you know? I don't think I've ever seen an election this close before. It is like teetering on the line of a tie. But obviously, Pennsylvania is still going to be the deciding state. I don't exactly know why Pennsylvania is, you know, that important of a state for the election, but you know, what do I know about American politics? I've also seen this ad for a show on the, you know, ABC News live stream. I noticed Japhisia Leslie is in it. And, yeah, that's all I know about the show. What was the show called again? It was, yeah, High Potential. That's what that show's called. No, I will not be watching it. I have no interest in it. You know, there's a couple of DC shows that came out a long time ago, and I just completely forgot of their existence. So obviously I didn't watch them. I never watched Gotham, nor did I ever watch Pennyworth. Those are 2 DC shows I never watched. I really don't have a point. Like, I don't really have any purpose to go back and watch them. Unless, you know, I'm completely bored and I have absolutely, and I mean absolutely nothing to watch. Can you guys believe I'm actually, you know, more willing to watch Dead Boy Detective? What? Detectives? I'm actually more willing to watch Dead Boy Detectives before watching either Gotham or Pennyworth. Pennyworth. I keep getting him and Pennywise confused. You know, just because, you know, despite Dead Boy Detectives being cancelled, just in case there's any sort of connections to Sandman Season 2, whenever the hell that's happening, like a decade from now. And if there isn't, well, I wasted my time watching Dead Boy Detectives. Even if it is a good show, well, it's cancelled. So it doesn't matter. When did Sandman come out? Has it been... How long has it been? Sandman came out... Let's see. Wow, 15 million per episode. Pretty good. Sandman came out August 19th, 2022, so it's been over 2 years. It's been 2.5 years. 2.5 years, Jesus Christ. 2.5 years since the Sandman came out. I don't think we have any news on Season 2 yet, besides the fact that, you know, besides the update of, trust me bro, it's happening. See, I see just now it was updated. A couple seconds ago, it was updated. 67% of votes are in for Pennsylvania. Trump is at 50.7. Harris is at 48.3. That is very close. Wow. Arizona, 51% of votes are in. Trump is 49.6. Harris is 49.5. Those numbers don't exactly add up to 100%. I don't... Whatever. You know, also earlier today, my sister's high-quality wedding pictures were finally sent to us. Jesus Christ, my sister got married August, and now it's November. September, October, November. So it took 3 months for the pictures to be, you know, processed, developed, whatever, and then sent to us. It took 3 months. And, you know, seeing some of the pictures, first of all, my God, I look fat. And aside from that, I see some pictures that I just wasn't there for. Because at those moments, I actually left the wedding to bring my dogs back home. And then also take a quick power nap in the car ride. So at those moments, I left the wedding for like more than half an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour. So I missed a lot of stuff. I missed the opening, I don't want to say it's a ceremony, but like the opening whatever to the dinner. You guys know how eventually for a wedding, oh look, only one egg hatched there. Like at some point in the wedding, you're told to like have a seat because, you know, the dinner will start soon, and then once everyone's seated, the bride and groom are gonna walk through the doors, be like, everyone, please pay your attentions or whatever to the door. Please welcome the bride and groom. They walk through the door. There's music playing. They're walking down the hall with, like, you know, smiles and waving at everyone. And then they go to the front to make a quick speech. Like, thank you everyone for joining our wedding today. Like they say that kind of stuff. Well, based on the pictures, it turns out my dad was also up there saying something. He was also up there hugging my sisters. Like, damn! I missed all that. I missed those moments in my own sister's wedding. Just because I was bringing the dogs back home. I brought them home, let them outside to pee, gave them a drink of water, and then I left. Then I went back to the wedding. I went back to the, you know, the venue. So, damn, I missed the entire introduction to dinner. By the time I got back, the food was, you know, just then being served. I sat down and there was already a plate of food in front of me. I missed the entire, like, welcoming ceremony or whatever to the dinner. Well, that's a moment I'll never get back. You know, tonight's dinner was a good-ass dinner. Because my sister went out for dinner tonight, it was just my parents and I, so the three of us. So didn't need to cook as much food. If it was 4 mouths to feed, then we would have to cook something else. But because my sister wasn't here tonight, we didn't cook too much. Obviously, we had rice. What Asian family doesn't have rice? We had some leftover, like, you know, sliced beef and lamb. You know, the kind that... Think of, like, you know, the ones that you would use for hot pot. But it wasn't that thin. And it wasn't meant for hot pot. It was just, like, really thin sliced beef and lamb. So we just basically just fried it up, put in some red onion, spices, and then my mom makes this steamed egg dish. Super smooth, super soft, super moist. And that's it. We had eggs, beef and lamb with a bowl of rice. And let me tell you, that beef was fatty. Like me, I put no oil into that frying pan, and there was an entire, like, bowl's worth of oil left over. Of course, I saved it. You know, that's some beautiful beef fat right there. Wrap it up, put it in the fridge. I have beef fat to use another time I cook something. You know, I have leftover beef fat from the last, like the second or third last time I cooked a steak. Yeah, that beef fat has been in my fridge for a while. I smelled it and it still smells fine. I used it, it still tastes fine. I mean, it's all fat, right? It's all beef fat, so it can last a little longer. You know, there's no water in it, there's no moisture in it, so it can last a lot longer. The moment it starts smelling funky and maybe I see some mold, you know, I don't like my cheese moldy, bruh. So the moment it smells a little off, obviously I'm going to throw it away. You know, how often do I cook a dish that, you know, would be improved on by using some beef fat, right? Like, how often do I cook a dish like that? I'm not going to cook something with it just for the sake of it, right? Like, if I'm just cooking any ordinary dish and I use some vegetable oil, I'm not just going to purposely, you know, pull out the leftover beef fat. Also because my dad doesn't eat anything, you know, well, no, I don't want to say anything beef related. He does eat cheese. Even though he eats Swiss cheese, he doesn't like the taste of, you know, American cheese, because he and my sister think it's too pungent, too strong of a taste. Which, like, wow, they think American cheese has too strong of a taste. Well, as long as my dad doesn't taste the beef, like the beef flavor and the fat, then it should be fine, you know? If he doesn't know about it, then he'll eat it. It's not like he'll die from it. I'm waiting for this bozo to show up so I can talk about this goddamn episode, and his ass still ain't here. I need to drink some more water given, you know, all the lard I consumed today. I had chicken and rice for lunch today. Some leftover chicken thighs. There was some like honey barbecue marinated chicken that I bought from the grocery store. Some leftovers of that. I ate the rice that was supposed to be for my dog's dinner. And then just for some added flavor, I just fried up an egg and put it on top. You know, we mix rice with our dog's kibble because they're very picky little kings. It has now been 3.5 boxes. Alright, what else can I play? Let's see. You know, I never finished this game. Bowser's Inside Story. I never finished this game. I bought it when I was a kid. Actually, I asked my uncle for it for like... I can't remember if it was like a birthday gift or a Christmas gift. My uncle asked me what game I wanted, and I told him I wanted this game. I don't know where the game is nowadays. I never finished it. There was a puzzle I could never solve, and because I was too young and stupid, I couldn't figure out just to look it up online. So I just stopped playing the game. And now I don't know where the game is. I lost it. I lost my uncle's gift. Like, one day, I don't want to look up the game, like, look up, like, the entire gameplay for the sake of it. I want to, one day, get the game again, play it, see if I'm actually smart enough to figure out the puzzle now that I'm a grown-ass adult. And if I still can't, then I'll look it up. One day, though. I'm gonna give that jackass until the last box to show up, and if not, I'll just start talking about the episode. You know, I also washed my hair earlier today because it was just too greasy. I wanted to wait until tomorrow morning to wash it, that way I wash it before work. But it was just too greasy, I couldn't take it. Well, I will probably have to wash it tomorrow morning again. My hair just gets too greasy too fast. And I don't even use conditioner because of that. You know, it's a paradox. It's a loop. The more I wash it to get rid of all the grease, the more my body needs to replace that grease. So the faster all the grease and oils come back, so the more I need to wash, and the more I wash, the more my body replaces all those oils. So it's like, it's a never-ending paradox. I wonder if I am yet again background noise for No Shame in Feeding's assignment that he's working on. Well, my 3DS is fully charged. I can remove this cord. You think they knew they cooked up a masterpiece when they were putting this song together? Alright, that is 4 boxes, right? Let me just double check. Yeah, that's 4 boxes. So now we're on to box 5. I will hatch one more box, and if that jackass ain't here yet, then I'll just start talking about the From episode. You know, it's a very classic case of, like, yeah, I'll hop on soon, and then an entire week passes, like, alright, we ready to get this dub or what? It's like, yeah, I'll join the game soon. A month passes. Alright, I'm ready. You know, I saw a video recently on when will Pokemon Bank shut down. So it's predicted in that video that Bank might not shut down until like 2026 or 7. Possibly. We don't know yet. Because right now there are 9 Pokemon that just are not compatible with any game on the Switch. I am hunting those 9 right now. But you know, once those 9 do become compatible, then what? Right? Is Bank just gone once that bridge has been crossed? Technically, all Pokemon are available on Switch at that point, except, and I didn't even think about this, except a couple of mythicals. All Pokemon are available on Switch, like in terms of games, they can be transferred into a game, but not all Pokemon have been released on the Switch. Obviously, these 9 I'm hunting for now, but there's a couple mythicals, like say Volcanion. We never got a Volcanion event on the Switch yet. So at this point, like, you still have to transfer Volcanion from the 3DS to the Switch in order to put it into one of the compatible games on the Switch. So, you know, until that bridge is crossed, where every mythical is available on the Switch without being transferred from the 3DS. So it seems like that's what Pokemon and Game Freak are working towards, at least like very slowly. Because there's a lot of mythicals you can indeed get. You can get Mew and Jirachi in BDSP. You can get Meloetta in the Scarlet and Violet DLC. You can get Keldeo in the Sword and Shield DLC. You can get Manaphy and Fione in PLA. You still cannot get, you know, certain mythicals, at least to my knowledge. Certain mythicals like, you know, Celebi, Deoxys, like, you know what I mean. There's a handful of mythicals still not released on the Switch yet. Obviously, there's a workaround, you know. Pokemon Go, you can transfer mythicals from that game. So technically, right, they're still available, even if Bank permanently dies and you can no longer transfer mythicals from the 3DS. You can still get the mythicals from Pokemon Go, albeit, you know, specific timed events. We haven't seen Deoxys return in the 5-star raids for quite a long time. Darkrai, that shows up, you know, pretty much annually on Halloween. And, you know, every handful of years we'll get Genesect. I'm still waiting for I think it's 3 more forms of Genesect to be released shiny. We have the normal one. No, wait. No, 2 more forms. Yeah, because there's 5 forms altogether. The normal one, the Burn, Douse, Shock, and 1 more drive. Was it a Freeze drive? Shock, Burn, Chill, and Douse. So far in Pokemon Go, we've had Regular, Burn, and Douse Drive all released shiny. We're still waiting for Shock and Chill. And I will absolutely waste more money when those do become available shiny. I don't really care to get those 2 other shiny. The normal form of Genesect, when that came out as shiny, I wanted a shiny Genesect. But I also like the way that the red and blue drives for the Burn and Douse drives, the way they complement the red shiny, so I wanted those as well. For the Shock and Chill drive, I don't really care. But for the sake of like collecting every Genesect form shiny, I'll go for it. When they come out, that is. Man, we haven't seen Genesect be in Pokemon Go in quite some time. Let me see, when was the last time Genesect was in Pokemon Go? I think the last time it was in Pokemon Go raids was September 2023, so that was over a year ago. Was it? Was that it? It felt longer than that. Oh, maybe that's wrong. But I see this Reddit post here. The last event was from September to December 2022, and this was posted 8 months ago, so I'm not too sure. Did all the eggs even hatch there? No, only one egg hatched there. Well, that's not good. I see here in the polls that Harris is catching up. That's not good, at least to me. Do I need to turn up the volume? Ugh. Man, I'm tired. Watching 4 episodes worth of content today really takes the energy out of you. Alright, I'll hatch these 5 more eggs, and then we're on to the last box for tonight. If he doesn't show up, I'm just going to talk about the episode. Fuck him. Wow, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he will win. But I want to see, because they're doing predictions right now. I want to see what happens if Harris wins Pennsylvania. Will she instantly win? I think she might. Pennsylvania looks like it's going to be the deciding state. No? If Harris wins, well, at this moment, Pennsylvania as well as, I think, Minnesota? And maybe, I don't know what WI is. Wyoming? If she wins Pennsylvania, Wyoming, Arizona, and I think Nevada, then she wins. Trump, 69.7 in 100 chances of winning. Harris, 30.1 in 100 chances of winning. Oh, we'll see. This is still pretty tight. Pause. Alright. We're on to the last box for tonight. Let's talk about the From episode. Fuck that guy. So, this was from episode 5, and I'm thinking to myself, like, an actual, like, honest to God, decent episode for once? An episode that wasn't terrible? I'm not saying the previous episodes were, I'm just playing up the joke. But, like, yo, was this an actual, like, good episode for once? So this episode follows with the way, like, with that very question-bringing cliffhanger at the end of the last episode was. There was no Victor in this episode. This was a mostly Sarah-central episode. So she needs to kill the boy. She's actually at the doctor's clinic getting checked out by Christy. You know, they're still not sure how the door to the doctor's clinic opened up last time, killing Kenny's dad. So, Sarah spent the night there with Christy, and I'm just like, yo, we getting actual moments happening at night? Surviving the monsters at night? And then after the scene, it just cut to day, and it's like, oh, never mind. Man. So we learn actually why Christy doesn't want to get together with Kenny, because it turns out she has someone waiting for her back at home. And it's a girl. She's gay, or possibly bi. Maybe she likes both guys and girls. Nah, not too sure. So it turns out she's already engaged to someone else. That's why she doesn't want to get together with Kenny. Oof. Stay strong, my brother Kenny. But then, you know, Sarah was asking Christy, you know, Ben Shapiro style, hypothetically, if you had to do something bad in order to get everyone back home, would you do it? It's like, hypothetically, one bad thing to do a lot of good, Christy said she would. We also meet, for like the second time overall, Sarah's brother Nathan. So he's super worried about his sister. So Sarah is on this goal, this mission to kill Ethan this episode. Clearly that doesn't happen. We also see Sheriff Boyd go talk to his wife, his deceased wife. It looks like she got special treatment because she's buried somewhere, you know, far away from all the other graves. It's also revealed that his hand is shaking, so it seems like he also is developing Alzheimer's, or is that Parkinson's? I forget which one's the one. I think it's Parkinson's. Is it Parkinson's? Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is a brain condition that causes problems with movement, mental health, sleep, pain, and other health issues. Then what's Alzheimer's? I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor, okay? Alzheimer's is a neurodegenerative disease that usually starts slowly and progressively worsens. Is the cause of 60 to 70% of cases of dementia. Okay, so it's not Alzheimer's, it's Parkinson's. So it seems like Sheriff Boyd or Sheriff Stevens is developing Parkinson's, because he even said it started with his dad. That happens quite often from what I hear. It gets passed down if a parent has it. We saw that with Cliff Steele. So yeah, he's asking. It seems like the sheriff has a plan. A risky plan to get everyone back home. Is it genetic? I'm not too sure. Like, if it is genetic, then, you know, the question is, where does it start? Right? So I'm not too sure. I mean, at this point, what disease isn't genetic, right? If your parent has a disease, what would stop it from the kid having it too? Or potentially having it, right? What disease isn't genetic at this point? So yeah, it seems like the sheriff has a risky plan that could work, could bring everyone back home. Clearly, we know it's not going to work because there's currently 2 more seasons. Maybe that plan of his, that master plan of his, takes the next 2 seasons to, you know, actually take effect. We'll see. I will see. But he did say if his plan fails, it could leave these people in a worse state than they currently are. Which, yeah, that plan is risky by the sounds of it. We don't learn what the plan is. Not yet. What else? What else? So Sarah stole a scalpel from the clinic to try to kill Ethan with. Throughout this entire episode, she's very, like, persistent to be alone with Ethan. Like, do you want to go outside and play on that little, like, playground thing? Well, actually, Ethan asked her to do that. And then she's like, how about I take him to where the farm animals are, you know? Alone, without you, his parents. Jim is also, you know, trying to quote-unquote fix things with his family. So he's like, let's play a game. We're going to write down all the questions on the wall. All of them. Question is, where are we? How do we get here? How can we escape? Like, any question that comes to mind. We get this, like, side story to learn more about background characters, the secondary characters. We learned that there's a little, like, pond area in the town where, you know, the teens can have a swim. Okay, so now we learn where the people are getting their water from. We learned that food, well, they can grow vegetables. You know, livestock, they just show up out of nowhere. So now we know where the water comes from. Well, we hear this story of Fatima's background. We learn her background with her family. Cool, I guess. Okay, cool to learn about her backstory. Man, at this moment, I'm just like, man, this bitch-ass friend of mine, he complained Rick and Shane were talking in the car, and he suggested this show to me, where it's nothing but talking. I swear to God, I will slap him the next time I see him. So yeah, that was really mostly just filler for the episode. But, you know, it's like, yeah, cool. We learn about her backstory and her family. Cool. Moving on. So, Nathan actually goes to Father... What was his name? Father Kinley? No, it's not Father Kinley. We're not watching Lucifer. Father, what's his name? The priest in the town. And is actually asking him, like, how does it work with confession? If I tell you something bad, does it stay between us? We don't learn what that bad thing is. It happened all off screen, and then the priest is like, you should have came to me about this a long time ago. Oh, that is frustrating. That is so frustrating. They did all the explanation off screen, so we don't know what the really bad thing is. Anyways, aside from those frustrating writing decisions, did we actually get an answer in this episode? Like, any sort of answer? We got a single answer to something in this episode? What? Oh, the eggs were hatched there, by the way. So we actually got an answer to something. It's better than nothing. Last episode, I was questioning, like, if Sheriff Boyd actually found the talismans rather recently, how did people survive before the talismans? The whole point of the talismans is to stop the monsters from coming into the house or coming into shelters. They need to be let in, right? They need someone to open the door, open something, and let them in. That's the point of the talismans. So, how did people survive before the talismans? Were the monsters able to just jump straight through the windows before the talismans? Because, you know, the point of the talismans is to stop the monsters from coming in. So I was questioning, how did people survive before the discovery of the talismans? We got an answer, but it's like not really also an answer. It's something at least. So Sarah reveals to Tabitha in an attempt to get Tabitha away so she can kill Ethan. She's like, the father actually, the priest, whatever his name was, actually told us that, you know, people would just hide from the monsters before, you know, the talismans. There would be these hiding spots all around town just in case you're ever outside at night. So that's an answer, but not really the answer. It's like, okay, before the talismans, if you were unlucky enough to be outside at night, there are these hiding spots, these designated hiding spots that, you hide and try to get away from the monsters. But that still doesn't really answer the question, right? That answers there are hiding spots before the talismans, but now that there are talismans, there's no need for the hiding spots. But that still doesn't answer how did the houses work, the big shelters work before the talismans. So, we got half an answer. That still leaves the big question unanswered. But, so yeah. At first I thought, like, oh, we're getting an answer? And then I thought, oh, wait a second, this is no answer. She's lying to Tabitha to get her alone. To get her away from Ethan so that she can be alone with Ethan. And then she reveals a secret spot in the barn. So it's like, okay, maybe there actually are secret spots to hide at. So she tries to kill Ethan, but then her brother stops her. And then, scalpel in hand, she accidentally kills her own brother by slicing his throat. Now, I predicted this. I said a lot the previous episode. The fact that Victor dug up graves prematurely. That told me that there would be deaths coming. And literally the next episode we got a death. And I was also saying, like, I wonder if this show has the balls to kill off a more prominent character this early on. Or if they'll kill off, like, a less important background character. Nathan, he wasn't really that important to the plot, like, up to this point. He showed up, like, once, maximum twice before. So he barely showed up. I didn't even know the guy's name until this episode. So, he wasn't really that big of a character to kill off, right? So, no, they did not have the balls to kill off a big character. And I don't know. Maybe that little ass scalpel's enough to cut deep enough into the neck to kill someone. And from what I hear, you need to cut pretty deep into the neck to kill someone, right? I mean, look, Negan, he had his throat cut open by Rick, but he didn't die. Rick didn't cut deep enough, right? So I don't know. Supposedly you do need to cut pretty deep into the neck to kill someone, so I don't know if that little scalpel would be enough. Maybe it was, I don't know. We also see Jade. He walks into this, like, makeshift bar in the town. It's like homemade potato vodka, whatever, that supposedly tasted sour. We get this whole exposition like Schrodinger's cat. Everyone in town is Schrodinger's cat. People outside, they don't know if, these guys are dead or alive. So to everyone outside, everyone here is in a state of both. They're both dead and alive to everyone outside the town. And then he's, inspired to get the radio working, because once the radio starts working, he can broadcast outside the box, the quote-unquote box, the town, and let people know that they are still alive. Well, yeah, Sarah accidentally killed her brother. She ran off into the woods. So if she comes back, the sheriff and the father will deal with her. If she doesn't come back before nighttime, the problem is taken care of. Tabitha writes down the question, did we survive the car crash? That is actually an excellent question. What if they all died and this is some sort of, like, purgatory? I don't think that's the case. Like, honestly, I don't think that's the case. Otherwise, there wouldn't be 2 goddamn seasons after this. But I was thinking, like, this whole episode was pretty tense. Will the show have the balls to actually, kill off Ethan? Like, actually show on screen Sarah Sarah killing a kid? Now, that's a very touchy subject when it comes to TV shows and movies, like, just content in general, killing off kids. The Walking Dead has done it a handful of times. Maybe not that young of a kid, because Ethan's rather young. All the kids we see die in Walking Dead shows, they haven't been Ethan age for young, right? I mean, in Fear the Walking Dead, we saw a baby die, but we didn't physically see it. It was underneath a towel, underneath a blanket, and it was implied that the baby died and turned into a walker. So we didn't literally see it on screen. So I'm like, do they actually have the balls or even the capability to kill off Ethan on screen? Clearly they didn't. Then again, they purposely wrote it to be tense. They didn't write Ethan to die at this moment, so, fine. But I will give them props. At least I will give them credit for that. The scene, not the scene, the whole episode was tense. You see the fact that Sarah swiped a scalpel and she has a goal now to kill Ethan. So the whole time you're pretty tense, like, oh my god, is she actually going to do it? Is she actually going to succeed in getting Ethan alone? And then, just, clearly she didn't, and we'll have to see what happens now. Because her brother's dead, so we'll have to see. Like, if Sarah comes back to town, well, she will probably go into the box. Unless we find out what the hell is happening with her. Why is there writing on her arms that tell her what to do? Right? Nathan revealed to the priest, I think. Like, I think he did that. I think Nathan revealed to the priest that stuff's happening. So if they do come back, they can maybe use Sarah as, like, a navigator. Some sort of whatever is telling her to do stuff that could potentially free the citizens here. So it's like, that's a potential advantage. Even if it is telling her to do awful stuff, that's a potential, solution. Even if it is bad stuff that they gotta do. So we'll see. There's a chance that when Sarah comes back, or if she comes back, she won't be put into the box. But that's hard to say. We'll see. Alright, last couple eggs for tonight. And then, once we're done here tonight, I will hatch the rest of the eggs on my own, collect Pansear eggs for next time. You know how it goes. Of course, I'll inform you if I get another shiny Pansear. I think that was the last egg for tonight. Yep. I also want to point out before I go that the total number of Pansear eggs will not be 1,621. It will be 1,160 because down here I purposely left the final space open for that last egg at the, the daycare. So for Pansear, it will be 1,620 eggs total, not 21. So, just wanted to point that out. Alright, I'm going to call it there for tonight. So, thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you all next time for Pansear. Bye.